Are you a runner in your 40s? Let me show you 3 strength exercises to add in or keep in to keep you running. So I want to show you a squat, a hip hinge, and a plank. They're really simple and they're really effective. So what I'd like you to have to just try this on your own is something to sit on. So I'm using this bench. Use something sturdy. A chair works. A wooden chair is really good. Something you can hold on to. And then that's it, or a mat for the planks. So that's all you need. This is going to be body weight. And the best part is you're going to learn the progression of how to do the movement. So then you can progress. You can add weights. You can do all of that. But first, keep in just the body weight to get started. All right, so let's get started. First, have a seat. So this is the squat position. And so anytime you're going to work on a movement, first figure out what's the position? What is the correct position I should be in? So that's why with running, of course, we do the figure 4 pose, squats. This is a squat. So when you sit on the chair, what you want to do is this. Can you get your ankle bone behind the knee? And this is important because this is the same as I want in running. So it's a nice way to have my feet. Wiggle your toes. Your body weight needs to be on the whole foot, but primarily on the ball of the foot. So that's really important. You should be able to wiggle your toes, right? So now I've got body weight on the ball of my foot. My feet are relaxed on the ground. And of course I have weight in my glutes. And this is important because these are the main actors in a squat, right? It's the glutes and the hips. Now remember, the hip is also holding this up. So we really want to make sure that the hip gets to do its job and the glutes. So hold your ears over shoulders, over hips. Now, as people get older, what they notice, hopefully not you, but this happens, is that when they start to get up, they start to lean forward. Now, if I lean forward, I'm going to hit my head. So I don't want to do that. I want to lift up. I want to lift my torso up and lift up off of my seat. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to do it 2 ways. One, where's my body weight? It's in my feet and my seat. Press down on your feet to lift up the seat. So I want you to hold on, okay? So when I press down with my feet, I want you to activate the glutes for a minute. Squeeze your glutes, right? So when I press down on my feet, activating the glutes, lifting my torso, my body's going to come up. Now on the way down, I've got gravity on my side. However, I want to control the descent. So on the way down, think about pulling in the stomach. So I'm going to pull my stomach in. And when I feel that my glutes have touched, when I feel my glutes hit the seat, I'm going to activate the glute to come up. So body weight's in my foot, right? I'm holding this lifted. So I'm going to go pull my stomach in, squeeze the glutes. Pull your stomach in, squeeze your glutes. So that's the muscle activation for a squat. Then you're going to do, a little bit quicker if you want. Pull your stomach in, squeeze. Notice how much I'm holding on. Really, really important to move this. Really important to be confident in holding on. Don't worry about it in the beginning. Feel that. Because notice how much my upper body stayed lifted when I focused only on my action. So my hip goes back. That's how I sit. My upper body stays lifted, okay? So I want you to go back until you feel the seat. Then the next step is to not hold on, right? So when I'm going to not hold on, I'm going to make sure I feel comfortable. So I just did it, no problem holding on. If you want to, you could scoot back a little, but I'm going to make sure I leave my chest lifted, everything's open. Again, body weight's in my feet. So I'm thinking lift up, right? Lift up. So I come down and I come up. Pull your stomach in. When you feel the glute, hit the seat, squeeze. Now, the next step, of course, is just to move the step. And you can squat on your own, either holding on or not. But now the idea is I'm going to maintain that same sensation of holding myself upright. I'm going to pull my stomach in. Arms are for balance. If I'm not going to hold on to this, I'm just going to let them come out for balance, and I can use them to come back up. So then you're doing the same thing. You're going to pull your stomach in, squeeze that glute. Pull your stomach in, squeeze that glute. And as the more you do that, again, this is just body weight, right? If I do that and I think about it, especially learning the movement, then eventually when I squat, say I want to add weights or add a bar, whatever you want to do, you will be using the correct movement pattern. So you want to activate your squats starting at the bottom of the squat. Then when you get more and more comfortable, you can start standing. But really the squat starts here. Press your feet in the ground and your glutes come up, your hips lift up. So you start here, squeeze. So pull your stomach in, squeeze the glute. Always start with muscle activation. And then you get to a place where the muscles are working as they should, and you'll know. So when you go, say, to sit down in a chair, you won't have to think, pull my stomach in, squeeze my glutes. Although it's not a bad thought, but you'll go to sit down in a chair and you'll just sit down in a chair. And then you'll just get up when you get up. Although I do highly recommend, especially as you get older, when you get up, activate those glutes. If I've been sitting for a while, especially, you know, those of us that are, as you get older, when you sit, everything tightens up. So your hip flexors get tight, your lower back, all of that. So just think, every time I'm going to lift up, if I put my weight on my feet, activate my glutes and lift, so much better for the body, okay? So that's your squat. Now we're going to go into a hip hinge. For the hip hinge, I would have a wall behind me. It's really effective, and I'm going to show you why. So a hip hinge, and this can be, we're going to do both legs and a single leg, very popular, single leg hip hinges and deadlifts. So we're going to call it a hip hinge because the difference between a hinge and a squat is I'm not going to sit down. My hips go back. So if you've got a wall that you can put behind you, just stand here. And again, I'm still pulling my stomach in. And when my glutes hit the wall, I want to squeeze them to come forward. So same muscles, right? However, different action. So I'm still leading from my hip to come down. When I feel that my glutes have touched the wall, I want to use them to come off the wall. Where's my body weight? Still in my balls of feet. My whole foot's on the ground. This is really important because it's the same stance as your ready stance for your run, right? So you're here for the hinge. Again, keep this line, ears, shoulders, hips. This stays as one line. So when you hinge back, that line stays the same. Press your feet in the ground, squeeze that glute. Pull your stomach in, squeeze that glute. You don't have to go as low as I'm going. You can maybe start right here. You feel it? Squeeze your glute. Pull your stomach in, squeeze your glute. Start to feel that the hip leads and this pops you back up. So again, it's like a standing glute bridge. The more comfortable you get with that, then of course now you can step away from the wall or go further and now increase your range of motion. So, you know, really getting to this parallel is fine. Notice my head moves with my torso. That's important. So I'm not trying to look at any way. I'm just staying in this line, and that whole line stays connected. And this is important because absolutely you can do a single leg hip hinge, and you can start with your foot just staying on the ground. And again, just doing that same hinge. So this is the glute that's working. And then as you get more and more comfortable with it, just lift that back leg. So then it's a hip hinge. Feeling just this muscle, if you want to talk about muscles. Body weight's on the ball of my foot, knee is nice and bent. So again, you pull your stomach in and you squeeze the glute. Really want to feel that. And then if I need to hold on, hold on. Get comfortable with maybe I need a little bit of help with balance in the beginning. That's great. Working on balance is really good for your run. Okay, so that is the hip hinge. And then the plank. So planks are really, really popular. Core work's really popular, right? So I want to talk just real quick that really what a plank is the top of a push-up position. The push-up position starts at the bottom and you push up. So a plank is actually the top of a push-up. And that's important as you get more into your strength work. So I want you to start on all fours, okay? So make sure there's a straight line from the shoulder to the wrist. This is really, really important. Shoulders to the wrist. And what we want to do here is we want to make sure you have space. Now take your feet back. So this is a plank. Now, this is kind of fun. I'm going to teach you a shoulder tap. And this is because I want you to hold the plank and use the upper body. So why? Because when you run, you're going to have to hold your upper body lifted and your arms are going to swing. So a shoulder tap is a great way to hold the plank, of course, build strength for the upper body and start working on that balance with the arms. So again, make sure you've got space. We're going to start on all fours. Now here's the other really fun part. You can stay right here on all fours. You don't have to go into the plank and still get the benefit of the shoulder tap. And I want you to think about, again, as soon as I pick up one hand, where's my weight? It's on this hand, right? Now, if you lift through the hip, as I lift my hand and you lift the hip up, you should feel light. See, my arms are actually not that weighted, right? Where's my weight? Well, right now it's in a little bit my knees, but mainly I'm lifted in my hip. So I'm doing these taps. I'd like you to do it in a full plank, okay? So once I'm in this plank, I'm just gonna do tap, 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 and I'm feeling some movement in the hip. That's great, just like in running. So I should feel that I can, this is fun because I like activation. Notice how I can still talk to you. So if you're doing a plank and you start to feel like this, please breathe. Okay, this is important. It's the same as in running. In running, I need my torso to be working. It's going to work the whole time. However, it's not going to be like an ab contraction where I'm like this, right? So when you're here, see, I can still breathe. I can still talk to you. So this is a great way to feel that this is how my upper body's going to feel when it's connected in my run. Right? You're still going to be running, but this has to all stay in line. I had a physical therapist once, and she called it, you want a coat of armor with ability to move on the inside, like marshmallow in the middle, coat of armor. So you want to be able to swing your arms, everything's nice, moving well, but this is really strong. So these shoulder taps are just a great way to hold a plank, again, while still allowing those arms to move. All right, this is the best part. These are 3 exercises, right? I gave you a squat, gave you a hip hinge, and I gave you a plank. They're all really effective. And the fun part is the more you get confident and comfortable with doing a movement correctly, and there's no pain, feels good. Like squats, you should feel in the glute. It's important. Hip hinges, glute, and anything core, right? Same thing, shoulder taps. I'm feeling that way more in this area than I am in my arms or shoulders. So if I'm feeling something in a wrong spot, if you feel squats in your knees, for example, I feel my hip hinges in my back, then let me know, comment. You know, this is important because you want to make sure you're feeling what should be happening. And then when you get comfortable with the squat, with the hip hinge, with the shoulder taps, go through the RunRx Reboot. We've got a bunch of workouts that I've put together. So then you can actually put them together and do, like, you know, a workout. And this, which is, by the way, if you are getting into running, coming back into running, want to learn how to do strength training with your running, it's a real simple follow, and it really is, it works. So it's the consistency of it. So if you try these squats,